Alrighty, hey, good morning, guys. I'm Meteorologist Ben Peine here with your not waking up weather. We already did that. Been at 10 for this Monday, January the 26th. Hopefully, you are all staying warm as this is just the very beginning of a long lasting cold weather pattern that we're in. So, cold weather advisory today. That means some sub zero wind chills out there. Last wind I saw 2 below. And we have an extreme cold, a little bit of a dropout right there. Again, the Starlink internet here might have a couple dropouts every once in a while. Got a lot of data loaded up, so it is chugging on the data here this morning. But again, extreme cold warning for tonight, which we don't get very often. That means some wind chills around 10 to 20 below overnight tonight. So might want to think about dripping that faucet. The cabinet doors open under the sink. Clear the fire hydrants is what we've heard from the firefighters as well, where we've seen the bigger snowfall. And take it easy on the roads. Still get reports of a lot of snow-covered roads. We'll take a look at the road conditions as well here in just a second. And also, of course, your complete forecast. We got your weather jokes, your weather history, the weather countdown, and all that good stuff that we'll load up as well. We'll look at how long this extremely cold weather pattern will be lasting as well. So if you're new to the program, of course, we had a lot of new visitors with the live shows over the weekend with the winter storm. This is a show we do every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Ben at 10. So thanks for liking or subscribing. Also, if you want to subscribe on YouTube, we're live there as well at EXTOL, Extol Media on YouTube. So even just a like or comment will help spread the show all over the place here. So let's get your forecast off the bat. We'll take a longer look at your forecast, typically through about 10:20. Then we'll look at some weather model data. And actually, this thing is annoying me right here. I'll just keep it over my shoulder. Anyway, we've got not much precipitation in a long-range outlook. We're going to get some occasional flurries, little batches of some light snow every once in a while. Tomorrow, it looks like we'll have some flurries flying through, maybe a dusting out of that. And then Friday, Saturday, it looks like maybe some dustings every once in a while as well, as this extremely cold weather pattern continues across the region. So I'm going to get to your comments here in just a second. Let's take a look at what's happening as I get rid of this and bring this up here. Here's our weather headlines for today, for your January the 26th. We've got extreme cold all week. We've got that, again, cold weather advisory today, extreme cold warning tonight, and some light snow chances, as we'll see coming up in that 7-day forecast. This is kind of interesting to me. I don't know if you hear my cat meowing. This is, I want to thank the National Weather Service for getting back with me pretty quickly with this today. This is a look at the top 10 coldest stretches that we've had in the Louisville area. And so the worst, I guess, was 17 days below freezing in 1918, then 15 in 1966, 1978. Some of you remember that one, 14 days. Below freezing, 1940, 13 days. I don't even remember this. It wasn't that long ago. 2017, was it 9 years ago? We had 12 days below freezing. In 2010, we had 11 days below freezing. So we might go 11 days or so below freezing, which would take us all the way into February and into next week. So we might end up kind of top 10-ish with this long cold stretch that we have across the area. And that's just kind of a peek at what we could expect tonight, what we will expect tonight and tomorrow morning, with the wind chills going to the negative teen territory overnight tonight. So not great here as far as those temperatures. So the snow that's on the ground will stay on the ground for a long time. I just got a comment from my neighbor, Keith Hennessy. He said, "I'm ready for mosquito bites and sunburns at this point." I had a comment before the show popping in from Emmanuel from Indianapolis. What a doozy of a storm. Yeah, I think upper, was it 10, 12 inches up around Indianapolis? Many areas in southern Indiana around 10 to 12 inches. I think I got about 7 to 8 inches here in our backyard. It was kind of heavy shoveling too, because there's some sleet mixed in. And I've got to do some more of that shoveling today as well. And I want to shout out to my wife, Sarah, by the way. While I was getting ready for the show, I mean, it took forever to vacuum the salt and all the stuff that's on the floor, and then mopping it because my son Brady has a couple buddies here snowed in, and they've been in and out having a good time, which is great. But and myself too, just dragging salt from the driveway inside. So it's been kind of messy around here. And also, of course, lugging wood into the wood stove. Fun times being snowed in here. We got a good morning from across the valley, waving to you through the weather window 5000. A lot of sunshine out there. It's good to see that sunshine. We'll take a look outside here in just a second. Hey, Diana Meese, thanks for tuning in here this morning. You're very welcome. Joe Banks, thanks for watching the show. We've got some backyard temperature reports with Orlean Whitlow at 7 degrees in Hodgenville with the sun shining through. At least it is sunny today. Lynn Fry says, yeah, yes, indeed. Dennis Gregory, the shoveling 13 plus inches. Thanks for that report, Dennis. Cheers with the Bliss Cup this morning. Shoveled 3 times yesterday. Kay Gibbons, kill those germs. Good morning to Lillian Lasley. Got up, it was 10 degrees there. And Perry Porter watching for the YouTube with the coffee by my side. I'll never talk about snow ice cream. All right. Thanks for tuning in here this morning there, Perry. Okay, let's take a peek outside here, and we'll get back to your forecast here in just a second as well. Look at some current conditions. As always, want to mention you can, whenever you want, we got weather information here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm going to hit the refresh button here at EXTOLMAG, extolmag.com/weather. Got our live stream up right there. You can see that. And then if we scroll down just a little bit, we've got a current temperature of 10 degrees with the wind chill at 3 below zero. And wait, I've got my neighbor texting me. He's going to get the tractor out. This might be good. He's going to scrape the driveway. That would be really nice. Thank you, neighbor Mike. Oh, hold on. Yes, need it cleared, but need to back out cars first. What would you do without great neighbors? After the show. There we go. Okay. All right. Thanks for bearing with me. Gonna get that driveway cleared. Maybe I won't have to break my back after the show. Got to try to back out the cars and clear the driveway. Okay. So there's the 7-day forecast that I posted here. Highs in the teens and 20s, lows in the single digits, all below freezing the next 7 days. That's a frequent question I'm getting. When are we going to get above freezing? I think by maybe next Tuesday we'll have a chance of that, but I still think we're going to get some cold shots through the first week or two of February. This could be a long stretch of below freezing temperatures. I've also got a brand new weather story. I've got some interesting maps there and some stats as well, and some slides from the National Weather Service you can check out if you want to visit there. So now the winter storm warnings are gone, but they've been replaced. If you look at the severe weather watches, notice all of that blue, kind of where exactly we had the winter storm warnings is now all the extreme cold warnings across much of the United States that goes all the way down to the Gulf Coast and southern Texas. So a lot of those folks not used to this kind of cold. And I did see some images of some really bad ice in some areas off to the south as well. So these are the interactive maps you can play around with. There's dozens of weather layers. We're in the upper single digits and lower teens across the area this morning. And we'll take a live peek outside as well here with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. Just looking at the frozen tundra-like view here at the fossil beds there of the Falls of the Ohio. So kind of looks like the Arctic North out there and feels like it as well. So you can grab the sunglasses if you're going to head out, but be careful. The roads are still slick. Speaking of that, we got to look at some of the Indiana 511 conditions here. This is the snow plow cams. Looking a lot better there in parts of Corydon. Starting to get that cleared away. Shout out to all the plow drivers, by the way, trying to get things looking better across the region. There's still some snow-covered roads there in Charlestown, Indiana. Here's a look at north of Sellersburg on Highway 31, the plow cam. So the salt can help dry out the roads, but they're not going to really do much melting because of how cold it is. They don't do much when you get lower than the teens. This is Indiana 135 north of Palmyra towards Salem, and there it is all snow covered. So starting to get the major routes looking better, I would say. This is I-65 north of Underwood. So that looks not too shabby right there. And the Trimark images, here's a look at an image here at the corner of 2nd and Main and the 2nd Street Bridge. Lots of snow still on the ground in downtown Louisville there. And this is a look at, I believe this is the 9th and Market. Slushy looking conditions out there. So again, just take it easy. If you're not comfortable driving over some of the snow-covered roads, be careful with that. I'm going to get back to your comments here in just a second. But first, a thank you to our partners and sponsors allowing us to do what we do right here on the show every day. Our brand new partner here, Clog Busters with a Z, Plumbing Services. They will help you out if you have any issues plumbing-wise, installations, fixes, whatever it might be, and more services that you can learn about here at Clog Busters with a Z, plumbing.com. And you can call them 859-495-3552. They got you covered throughout the Commonwealth of Kentucky, perhaps even parts of southern Indiana as well. Also, shout out to Ivy Tech Community College. You can go to campuses. And, of course, a lot of businesses and institutions are closed this morning. So enjoy the day off if you got a chance to get a day off. But here is Ivy Tech Community College. If you want to learn more, you can go to Tuesdays at the Tech right here on this one. And that means you can get one-on-one information to sign up, learn about dual credit. If you're in high school, get that free college education. But if you want to level up your career, maybe a new career, you can schedule a visit to learn more. And you can also just learn a ton here at ivytech.edu and learn about all of that they have to offer, which is dozens of 2-year certification programs. So there you go. And they can help you on your way to maybe a 4-year degree, whatever it might be. And then Lyons Roofing, Lyons, roofingco.com, lyonsroofingco.com. You get a free quote here, or you can call them 812-294-3595, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime, not only in Indiana, but also in Kentucky. We got you covered throughout the metro Louisville area. Michael Long's got you covered insurance-wise. Proud to be an American Star certified agency, excellence in customer experience. Yeah, he's been spending a lot of time clearing his driveway. 812-578-3072. He texted me a picture this morning up near Salem with like a foot of snow there. You can get a quote here at amfam.com and search Michael Long to learn more there. All right. Again, thanks to all of our partners here on the Ben at 10 show. This is a look at the roads here up in Madison with the sun glare this morning shining through. Again, with this polar air, it is tough. It is going to be tough for a long time to do any melting around our region. All right, it's time to load up that forecast as well. So let me get rid of this and add this. And hey, if you ever want to email me, hey, I got an email yesterday from Pamela. Thanks for those pictures of some ice down south. But if you want to learn about some advertising marketing solutions, we're here for that. Ben at extolmag.com throughout southern Indiana and metro Louisville and parts of Kentucky as well. We'll be happy to be your megaphone for your business or organization. There's my contact. So again, cold weather advisory today with sub-zero wind chills, and then that turns into an extreme cold warning tonight through tomorrow morning with wind chills at around 10 to 20 below. That's kind of the news story now. It's just this long-lasting cold pattern all week and some light snow chances off and on. I think we'll get some snow flurries developing tomorrow afternoon. That might provide a little dusting. Any light amount will stick on contact because of the below freezing pavement temperatures. And then Friday, Saturday, I also saw a chance for maybe some occasional flurries. And I was mentioning this a little bit earlier. If you're just popping on, these are the longest stretches of below freezing temperatures, 17 days in a row in 1918, late 70s, 1978. There's 14 days in a row. Not that long ago in 2017, the fifth longest stretch is 2017. We may go 11 days or so with below freezing temperatures. And there's the negative wind chills that we'll have out the door tomorrow morning. Our weather countdown, 6 p.m. sunsets, something to look forward to tomorrow. Getting a little more light day by day, advertised in the 50s and 25 days. And our time change here, I'll go full screen, 41 days, and spring begins in 52 days. Getting a couple more comments here popping in. Erica Risotto from Charlestown. The sun is shining. And my mom said, she's saying, thanks for checking in. Yes, indeed. Orlean asking, how many bugs do you think will still be around this summer? Unfortunately, I feel like that is folklore now because we've been through a lot of very harsh winters, and the bugs are just as crazy every summer. They have a way to survive. I always think about the deer out there too. Like, where do they hunker down and just, I don't know, they shiver all night? I know they've got thick fur and all that, but got to be rough. Vicky Berger, hello. Thanks for watching from the YouTube. Myra Craig saying, I could have moved to Southern California years ago. Now I'm a hardy Midwest gal. Yeah, why did our ancestors decide to move here? Got a comment here from Gina Hilton. I'm supposed to go to Clarksville to Westport Road, Clarksville to Westport Road, Springhurst tomorrow afternoon. Hoping that the East End Bridge and the rest of the highways are in good shape. I think they will be around that time. Starting to improve hour by hour here as they're still working hard on our road conditions, as we just saw. And always check 511in.org or trimark.org for some of the latest cameras and traffic conditions. Any idea when the warm-up may be coming? Next week, we might get a little above freezing, but below normal pattern for a couple weeks here. And I got a good morning here from Mike Sieverts, asking how much snow did Louisville get? I think the total was around 5 inches of sleet and snow combination. The sleet cutting into the totals there. Up here in Clark County, I got about 7-8 inches, and then the foot of snow is just off to the northwest of my area. So our stupid weather jokes of the day. We're making fun of weathermen here, or meteorologists. Weathermen or weatherwomen. Why did the weatherman take a leave of absence after breaking both arms and legs? He had trouble working with the forecasts. Punny one there. Why was the weatherman stressed? He had a high-pressure job. High pressure, low pressure. The weatherman said the winter storm would bring a foot of snow. Snow it didn't. We got a lot of those comments where some people didn't get as much as they wanted. I made that little weather joke up there. Making fun of the weatherman. All right, here's the weather history for today. John Fox, good morning. We got Mary Robertson. Thanks for the report and what you do for Indiana, but also what you show of Louisville too. Lots of Hoosiers work in Kentucky. I live in St. Matthews. No problem. Orlean, thanks for loving those weather jokes. Beverly as well. Appreciate you. 1772, check this one out. Washington, D.C. area snowfall. Thomas Jefferson says on his honeymoon, the deepest snow they've ever seen at 3 feet. They were taking a carriage back and then had to go on horseback to try to get through the snow. 1938, the Niagara Falls River ice jam. A bridge collapse buries the hydro plant under 18 feet of ice and water. 1938. 1972, the Oswego lake effect snow, intense rates of up to 16 inches in 2 hours. I think we had it rough. 1978, the Indiana blizzard, up to 40 inches of snow north, 55-mile-per-hour gusts, 10 to 20 feet drifts, 10 to 20-foot drifts, 50 below wind chill. I've heard about that one all my life. I remember my mom and dad talking about walking on snow up to the mailboxes. 1987, the eastern U.S. snowstorm over a foot from western Virginia to Washington, D.C. And then in 2011, a major city snowstorms. Philly with 15 inches, D.C. 5, New York City 1 to 2 feet. And that was schools closed for only the 9th time since 1979. Interesting as always. Today's forecast for your Monday, January 26th. Take it easy out there. 12 degrees, cold weather advisory, sub-zero wind chills, west winds at around 10 to 20. Winds are pretty light right now, and our low tonight down to around 0. Some areas below 0. Extreme cold warning with wind chills at around 10 to 20 below. South wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Our forecast here for you tomorrow, I should say Tuesday at the top, the 27th. I did not update that. That shows you a human is making this. Anyway, around 4 degrees out the door, and cold weather warning. Actually, I know. I forgot to update that one. Here's the brand new 7-day forecast. Again, highs in the teens, and 20s and lows in the single digits. So we got 25 tomorrow, one of our warmer days. 0 tomorrow night, 22. I do think we'll see some flurries flying around tomorrow afternoon. Little disturbances in this northwest flow. Lower 20s Wednesday, Thursday. Lows in the single digits. Upper teens Friday, Saturday with maybe some flurries. Some occasional light snow, maybe a dusting out of that from time to time. No significant snow, though, expected over the next 7 days. All right. Let me get rid of this and add this one back to the stage. I'm going back here because when we go to the weather story right here, I'm going to bring this up. It also has a lot of the maps that I just showed you, saying the long-lasting polar pattern out there. Wait for this to come up. Take a little sip of the coffee. So you can see a lot of the maps and data that we put up here, that I put up here, and this was tomorrow's forecast that I mistakenly didn't update on the slideshow right there. So here we go. There's the correct Tuesday at the top, January 27th, 0 out the door, sub-zero wind chills, 17 at noon, 25 with some light snow chances for tomorrow afternoon. So if you haven't had enough, some more flakes look like they'll be flying out there. So average high is 44, so about 20 below normal. Today, about 30 below normal. And our sunrise at 7:51, our sunset at 6 p.m. there for your Tuesday, 6 p.m. sunsets. All right, we are rocking and rolling here, about to bring up some of the weather model data as well. Let me bring this up to the stage. So the winter storm is gone off to the east. And now we're seeing a lot of sunshine breaking out across the area and some extremely cold temperatures. So there you see pretty quiet continental United States as we look coast to coast and border to border. Let me bring up some of the current conditions here. I think we've got a currents graphic right here. And then I'm kind of interested. This will bring up the temperatures, but I'm kind of interested in the regional wind chills. So just west of us, it's a little bit worse. When you see that gray and white color, those are all negative temperatures. That's pretty wild. That is a large outbreak of polar air. They've got below freezing temperatures all the way to the Gulf Coast and to Mexico. 32 all the way down to South Padre Island down there. And you can see the front making its way towards Florida. That's kind of the last kind of warm area. Hey, here's some warm thoughts as we go to Miami at 79 degrees. Looks good in Florida. Good for you snowbirds that got to go down there. All right, let me go to the other graphic here. This should bring up the wind chill. This just makes it look a lot worse, doesn't it? All right, let me bring this up full screen. That is some crazy stuff. It could be worse. Look at our friends up north here. We've got negative 30s wind chills in Minnesota, negative teens, negative 20s, negative 30s in Wisconsin. And there's even negative 20 wind chills not far out to our west at Evansville at 14 below. And our wind chill in Louisville is at 3 below. Up here in Columbus, Indiana, 10 below. And Indianapolis has wind chills around minus 18, minus 19, minus 21. So the heart of the polar air is right over the Midwest. And we're kind of on the fringe of it. So there it is, the Polar Express dropping down over the United States. All right, let's get to, there's not going to be much to show precipitation-wise because we're pretty dry over the next 7 days, other than some flurries from time to time. But we'll take a look at some of the temperatures here into the future. Tomorrow morning specifically is a rough one if you have to be outside. So tomorrow's the 27th. Let's go here and let me get rid of that. So here's the wind chill map tomorrow. Oops. And there you can see, by the way, the flow of the weather pattern. The jet stream has taken a dive. We talked about this weeks ago. And I think it was the beginning of January, I said, hey, let's watch out for late January into February. We might finally unlock that Canadian polar monster, the abdominal snow monster. Abdominable? All right. Anyway, there's your polar flow dropping in from the north. And let me try to get rid of that. There we go. Why is it doing that? Oh, I need to get rid of this. All right, let me go back to the screen here. It's misbehaving. It won't get rid of my arrow here. There we go. All right. Oop. Stop drawing. Okay, there we go. Okay, back to the wind chill map here. Tomorrow morning, we can query this. There you go. This is, if you're up early and out and about, definitely want to warm up that car if you got to get back to work. Probably, my kids probably have another day off school. Yeah, another like virtual learning for tomorrow. So there you go, minus teens. That is tomorrow morning at around 7 a.m. That's our snapshot there. I'm going to jump ahead to, let's just jump ahead to like Friday morning. Just picking a day because it's cold for a long time. We'll go, let's go Saturday morning. So Saturday is the 31st, last day of January. So 31st, 7 a.m. There you go. Just lovely. Negative wind chills. Look at this Arctic outbreak that continues. Again, because of the buckle and the drop and the jet stream just diving down there. In fact, we can bring up the jet stream. This is the winds way up top in the atmosphere. And this is what's guiding the weather pattern. So the polar jet is all the way down here. And so north of the jet stream is very cold air. It just unlocks it. The warm air is out west. My former coworker, Alden German, works as a meteorologist in Denver. They said they're worried about the lack of snow over the Rockies because of how warm it's been. And that might lead to like wildfire dangers if they don't start to pick up some precipitation. We have had more snow than many out west. So under the ridge out west is where you find the warmer conditions. But we are locked in this weather pattern, by the way, with this dip in the jet stream for a long time. I'll go to February 5th. I'm not sure what day that is, but this is something you might not like to see. This is a continuation of a dip in the jet stream through at least the first week of February, locked in a ridge out west and a trough east. Trough means cold, and the ridge means warm. So again, this is something we may have to try to get used to, and it looks like this snow will be on the ground for a very long time, especially the areas that got the deeper snow. So that there is the long-range outlook. I'm going to bring up really quickly, see if the snow will show up for tomorrow. So tomorrow is the 27th. We'll go in the afternoon tomorrow. Most of the models have a little bit of light snow dropping our way tomorrow afternoon. Let me bring up the precip type. And why am I not finding it? There it is. Okay. Took me a while there. Sometimes you got to bear with me. While this loads, taking a sip of the coffee, looking at some comments here. Not much showing up on that model. Let me bring up the GFS, see if there a little bit pops up. Not much showing up on that map. I might have to bring up a different map. Let's bring up, I've been showing you this one, weather.cod.edu, the College of DuPage near Chicago. Here is, bring up the 12Z run and precipitation type. It's kind of dried it out. So maybe just a few flurries tomorrow. Not much showing up on that model. Very dry air is what we have over us with this polar air. This shows just a little blip of some flurries late tomorrow, maybe right there. Shows a little afternoon flurry activity, so not a big deal. And then as we continue with this northwest flow, so if we get a little disturbance to move through, that's Friday with a few flurries, Saturday with a few flurries. So on and off flurries, but really cold weather pattern for a long time. That shows a little snow February 11th. Who knows if that'll happen? But that shows us a cold pattern for a long time as well. There you go. Since that has been the long range pattern, we're going to see me on a limb with shorts. The good old Ben LM segment, meaning we were looking at the long range outlook, which a lot of times that long range outlook pans out because we talked about winter could turn a bit rough late January into February, and it looks like that is happening. For those of you that want a winter, we are having a winter. No doubt about that. All right, checking out some of the comments since I last checked. Lillian, love some of the jokes there. So Boyd asking, have you ever seen Ryan Hall on YouTube? He's a weather guy. Yes, everybody's heard of Ryan Hall. Yes, so he's very, very popular. I've heard of him. Angela saying, good morning. Thank goodness for the sunshine today. Stay warm. Have an awesome day. Cheers to you as well. What's the temperature in Alaska right now? That's a good question there. We could check that out. 11 at Lillian's house. Mimi asking, Mimi's jewelry box. Is this the last ta-da for the season? Maybe not, because it is still early in the winter season. So we have the question about Alaska. Let's bring up Alaska temperatures. Since it's so cold here, we want to see who's got it worse. So let's see if this will pop up. There we go. I'll just go ahead and bring this up full screen. Take one last look at the current conditions, the roads, your forecast, and then we'll wrap it up here at 10:32. But there's the polar outbreak over much of the United States. And then up here, actually, we're warmer than Alaska, way warmer. So our friends in Alaska are actually at freezing. Kodiak Island at 34 degrees. So they've got a ridge out west, and that's where the warmer temperatures are. So if you want a vacation to a warmer spot, head out to wonderful Alaska, where it is toasty out that way. Much colder here than Alaska. Pretty interesting. Yep, the 12Zs are starting to ramp up. And that's a pretty common thing, Orlean. When we are severe cold, there's usually a reason for it. Dip in the jet stream here, but a ridge out west. So it's a lot of times a flip-flop when that happens. All right. Let's bring up the forecast here, and we'll do a forecast summary, and then we'll get on our way on a Monday. Extreme cold all week. Here's your weather headlines for your January 26th. Cold weather advisory today. Extreme cold warning tonight. Negative numbers with those sub-zero wind chills. And just some flurries occasionally. Might get a couple flurries tomorrow and maybe a few flurries Friday and Saturday. I don't see any big snows. If we make it 11 days, so last Friday, I believe, was below freezing. And then I think we're below freezing all the way through next Monday. So that's, I think, 11 days in a row would make it tied for top 10 longest below freezing stretches. The worst in 1918 at 17 days. And then not long ago, we had 12 days in 2017. I really don't remember that stretch, but 12 days below freezing. There's our negative numbers with our wind chills here tonight. Just a day away from our 6 p.m. sunsets. I'm going to have to make a new countdown with some new stuff on it. Average highs in the 50s and 25 days. That's around February 20th. Time change is right around 41 days, March 8th, getting close to 8 p.m. sunsets then. And then right after that, spring begins with average highs at around 60 on March 20th, 52 days away. That is the vernal equinox. Stupid weather jokes of the day. Why did the weatherman take a leave of absence after breaking both arms and legs? He had trouble working with the forecast. Why was the weatherman stressed? There was a lot of meteorologists stressed over last week with this winter storm. He had a high pressure job. Get it? High pressure moving in, polar high pressure, Arctic high pressure. And I made this one up to make fun of us all in the weather business. The weatherman said the winter storm would bring a foot of snow. Snow it didn't. Moving on here. A lot of weather history. I'll put this up here around noon today on my Facebook page. You can take a longer look at that. But one of the most interesting things is 1772 in D.C., Thomas Jefferson reports on his honeymoon the deepest snow they ever saw, 3 feet, riding horseback to get home. 12 degrees are high today, kind of not moving much with those temperatures. And those winds at 10 to 20 can bite right through you with those wind chills going below zero. They're below zero right now. 0 degrees for our low tonight, or even colder than that in some locations. So let's hope the HVAC systems are working properly. Make sure the filters are changed. Everything's working good. Wind chills 10 to 20 below overnight tonight. South wind around 5 to 10. Tomorrow we get a southwest breeze. Here's tomorrow's forecast. 25 degrees. Again, that was a not updated tomorrow graphic. We had it updated online. Needed to fix that. 25 for tomorrow. Flurries possible in the afternoon. 22 Wednesday. Notice single-digit low temperatures. 21 Thursday. Upper teens Friday, Saturday. Maybe some flurries. And then getting close to freezing next Monday. Perhaps we'll touch the freezing mark. But it looks like a better chance of above freezing temperatures by next Tuesday or so. And let me get rid of this and add this one back up. Beautiful view there. Looks like Alaska. Blue sky, and that's the Falls of the Ohio there with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation camera. fallsoftheohio.org. And the sun is shining out there, but so cold, it's not doing much to melt anything anytime soon. I'm looking at the just sampling some of the area snowplow cams. Ooh, that looks pretty good there on Indiana 211 down in southern Harrison County. Things are starting to improve, it looks like. There's a look at a clear I-65 there at Highway 60 exit 7. Sellersburg exit looks good. So it looks like a lot of the main routes are improving. Looks like they got a plow working up here in Salem. Looking much better there on 56. Up towards Campbellsburg, Indiana. Some roads not so good. There you can see totally snow. A lot of county roads, I'm sure, still completely snow covered. But again, shout out to all the drivers out there, those plows, making things passable as quickly as they possibly can. I-65 here through downtown. Looking good there. Some of the, of course, the side streets downtown still snow covered or slushy. Here's a look at 9th and Market if it's gonna load. There we go. Just looking slushy. So again, be careful if you got to venture out and take it easy. I want to thank our partners once again on Ben at 10, our brand new partner here, Clogbusters with a Z. They got you covered in the Commonwealth in Kentucky, 859-495-3552. And any of your plumbing services, you can learn more here at clogbustersplumbing.com. Clearing the way, one flush at a time. The plumber you want to call. So give them a call or go to their website right here. Happy to have them on board. And in Indiana, in southern Indiana, but also if you're in Kentucky too, you can go right here to Ivy Tech Community College and the campuses right here in Sellersburg. They're growing. It's a big year for them as they've got the Baptist Health facility that the urgent care facility that will help train their nursing program and other programs there. And they've got a family scholar house, which is going to be for single mothers, giving them access to post-secondary education. So that is awesome. But anybody that wants to level up, there are dozens of programs offered. You can get registered. You can apply today, as it says right there. Some good folks here at Lyons Roofing, Lyons, right out of Memphis, Indiana. But they got you covered on both sides of the river, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. Call them 812-294-3595. And you can get free quotes there online at lionsroofingco.com. And Michael Long here with American Family Insurance, my insurance agent. Could be yours too. If you want to get a quote, give him a call, 812-25. Oops, sorry. Let me slow down. 812-578-3072. Proud to be an American Star Certified Agency Excellence in Customer Experience. You can go to amfam.com, just search Michael Long. It'll take you right to his page right there. And hey, since we're just chilling on a Monday, everything's shut down, I'll give a shout out to my buddy Brad Weddington Custom Homes, also a good partner here on Ben at 10. You see him on Wednesdays with Weddington. Every other Wednesday, we talk about anything around the home as well. Also in the new year here, if you want an opportunity or you know somebody that needs an opportunity, Libs Paving might be something you check out in the upper right-hand corner. Libspaving.com is where you can find some job openings there, and you can apply online. And almost lastly, here's extolmag.com/weather. We've got our live show up right now, obviously there. Thanks for liking or subscribing on YouTube or on Facebook. We appreciate you for tuning in here. And if you ever want to connect, ask some weather questions, share some weather pictures, got an email yesterday from Pamela. I appreciate that. That's the way to do it. Ben at extolmag.com, extolmag.com. You can also learn about advertising and marketing solutions here with Extol Weather, Extol Media. We've been reaching millions of views over, I think we're pushing 4 million views on my page alone over the last 28 days. So thank you all for your viewership and tuning in and having some fun with us every morning. All right, let me get to some comments before we wrap things up. Yeah, we just showed that, Emmanuel. It is warmer in Alaska right now. Ray asking, will the early cold snap will spring come earlier than average? I have no idea. Get that far out. We just don't know. Would be nice, though. Orlean, keep warm. Have a good afternoon. Looking for some warmer weather. Maybe we'll talk about some warmer weather on tomorrow's show. Trying to find that above freezing temperature. That's a good sun right there, Beverly, clearing out the driveway. I got a good neighbor down the road who said he's going to bring the tractor up and help us out here. That'll be awesome. Gina Hilton says that Clark County is pulling 12-hour shifts to clear the county roads. Thank you again to all of them. I hope they stay safe. Yeah, it's kind of true here, Ray. We put up make-believe boundaries on things like spring, summer, and fall and winter because of the averaging. But I don't see any correlation with that. These cold snaps, these little bouts of cold weather and changing things up for spring. Don't see a real correlation with that one. Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in here this morning. It's been Ben at 10. It is now 10:43. And stay warm, stay safe out there, and we'll see you tomorrow morning on a frigid Tuesday, January the 27th. All right, have a good one. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching.